Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing another episode from Darkwing Duck. And at the beginning of this episode, Darkwing, Launchpad, and Gosalyn are watching TV, and they're talking about different superheroes, and the hero that's on the top of the list is Darkwing's rival, Gizmo Duck. And Darkwing's all jealous, and he's so funny when he's jealous, I think. And to make things worse, Darkwing is at the bottom of the list, and the picture they have of him is upside down. And to add to that, the guy that's talking about these heroes, the guy on the TV, calls him, I think it was Darkworm Duck. Oh my goodness. And on top of that, if that wasn't bad enough, there are these people who were complaining about him. There was this little old lady, and he apparently run over her foot, and he says that she was jaywalking. And there were these kids who said that he scares them, and I can kind of see that, since Darkwing does have a dark and mysterious, kind of thing going on there, because he is based off of Batman, but I do know that there are these comics coming out of him, or they might already be out by the time I'm posting this, and I did hear that they were gonna, drop the whole him being based off of Batman thing. I don't exactly know how that's gonna work, but, they're planning on making Darkwing more of his own hero, more of his own, hero, which I think is a good idea. But yeah, since he does have that dark and mysterious, kind of thing going on, I can see how he could scare some, kids in their world, but honestly, a part of me also can't really see that, because I personally think Darkwing's adorable. He's so adorable when he's mad, or just in general. I just think he's adorable. But again, I can see why these kids were scared of him. And there's this other guy, he was a construction worker, and he also had a complaint about Darkwing, and Darkwing even mentions that most of the police officers think he's a joke, and the other half hates his hat. So apparently some think he said some think he's a crook. Some of the cops think he's a crook. And apparently the others hate him, or his hat, because, or probably both, because at the end of the episode there is a cop that does mention something about his hat, but there's nothing wrong with his hat. I think he looks even more adorable with his hat on. But anyway, I know some people do, or have referred to Darkwing as just being in it for the glory. And the first episode he's in, which I guess isn't considered canon anymore, thanks to that episode in the DuckTales reboot, Let's Get Dangerous. Oh my word. We won't get into that episode. Oh man. But anyway, so yeah, I can see why some people, say that he's in it for the glory, but this episode, I think, shows that that's not exactly true. Or if it was true at a certain point, which I think it was somewhat true, but I honestly feel like, especially thanks to this episode, that he does truly care about the city and protecting people. I really feel like that's, his calling, to protect these people, and that he truly has a passion and a love for protecting these people. And he does mention that a couple times, or, something like that, a couple times in this episode. At this point in the episode, he mentions how he would like a little respect, a little appreciation. And Gosalyn comes up with an idea of how he can get that. So she is going to change him completely. Her and Honker are trying to figure out what other people would want in a hero, and she changes everything about him except for his hero name, which I personally don't understand. So he's still going by Darkwing Duck, but yet everything else about him is going to be different. So yeah, I don't understand that, but anyway, so they give Darkwing well, complete makeover, is that the right word for it? But I don't know, because, oh my goodness, when he becomes a new hero, which apparently for some reason is the kind of hero people want, he looks absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he looks so crazy. Instead of his hat, which I think is a really nice hat, he has on this helmet that has like these golden wings on the top of it, and the rest of his outfit, it looks so frilly and girly. In fact, he even says, doesn't this thing look pretty frilly? And for some reason, there's a big flower right in his middle, which I guess it's supposed to be like a giant belt buckle. So I think that's what that's supposed to be. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, he just looks so ridiculous. I'm surprised nobody laughed at him, because he looks absolutely ridiculous. And so the first thing that Gosalyn has him do is help this same little lady that said that he ran over her foot. He has her to, he's supposed to help her cross the street, and he jumps right in traffic so she could walk across, and once she's across, they completely cream him. And he earns the trust of those kids that were scared of him, and that construction worker, and everybody in the city. And everyone is loving him. And the mayor even gives him the key to the city. And Darkwing even has the cops to leave, and the mayor even leaves. He makes Darkwing mayor of the city, or at least temporarily, and oh my goodness, it's just a well, it's not a big mess yet, but it's about to be, because Negaduck found out about this, and he had been spying on Darkwing, and once Darkwing is being interviewed, Negaduck, he has on all these different disguises, and he's mentioning different crimes that I'm guessing he committed, or just annoying things like running up to someone's house and ringing the doorbell and running away, and even scaring the kids and leaving holes like in a construction area or in the park or something. I forget where it was, but yeah, apparently Negaduck did all this stuff because the people do, acknowledge these things. And Darkwing is getting nervous, but it's actually funny that we never see Negaduck do this stuff, but apparently he did. Apparently someone had to, and I don't think Darkwing did. I'm pretty sure he didn't do any of that. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Negaduck did all that stuff. So then the people take off after Darkwing, and Negaduck is able to let out all the crooks, and I know I said that Darkwing looked ridiculous in this episode, but Negaduck also has a moment in this episode where he too looks ridiculous, because he poses as a baby, and once he lets out all the crooks, he's standing in front of all these criminals wearing a bonnet and a diaper, and the bonnet he wears, it is red, but it does have a pink tint to it, but it still looks kind of pink, but you can tell it's red, but it does have a pink tint to it, so oh my goodness. But there is a part where he takes the bonnet off, but it's still so funny to see him standing in front of all these criminals in a diaper. I just think him and Darkwing both looked absolutely ridiculous in this episode. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and thanks to Negaduck, everyone is mad at Darkwing, and they are just want to destroy him or something. They're just so mad at him, and he goes back home and sulks in the closet. And okay, no, I can't believe Launchpad said this, but he said something like, I forget word for word what he said, but he said something like, any idiot would have made that mistake or something like that. And I'm like, Launchpad, really? That is not gonna help. I wish I could remember word for word what he said, but it was something like that. And I'm like, Launchpad, really? I can't believe you just said that. Oh my goodness, this episode is so crazy. Oh man, this episode is nuts. A good kind of nuts, sort of. I mean, it is good, but oh my goodness, the way Darkwing looks is... he looks so frilly. He looks so girly and ridiculous. But anyway, so thankfully, Darkwing drops this new look that he has and becomes Darkwing Duck again and stops Negaduck. And it's actually interesting because Negaduck had partnered with the villains. Like, well, he had all the villains steal the valuables in the city and bring them to him, and he's standing on this mound of all this valuable stuff like gold and all this other stuff. And it's interesting because the villains, or some of the crooks that were helping him, apparently they had it in their minds that he was going to give them some of that loot, but he doesn't. He ends up tricking them, making them think that there's going to be a party, and they're actually dumb enough to believe him. And he locks them all in jail so he could have all the loot to himself, and then that's when Darkwing comes to stop him. And it's actually funny because... well, there's actually a couple funny moments in this scene with Darkwing and Negaduck. Because when Darkwing first appears, Negaduck's like, I knew it couldn't last forever. Darkwing and Negaduck are so funny. I honestly wish that there were more good episodes that Negaduck is in, because he was just so funny. I wish there were more episodes in general. I mean, I know there was 91, and that was probably pretty good for back then. I think that's even pretty good for now, but I still think that there could have been a lot more episodes of the show. I honestly wish there were, but anyway, so it's actually funny because Negaduck slams the door in Darkwing's face, and then Darkwing kicks down the door and it lands on Negaduck, and he's like jumping on top of it, saying like, I wonder where he went, and Negaduck picks it up and throws Darkwing, and he's about to like kick Darkwing, like he jumps at him and is like about to kick him. Negaduck's pretty agile. He's pretty good with that kind of like agility or something, and he's strong too. But it's no wonder, because in the DuckTales reboot it was revealed that he was an actor and that he did his own stunts, and so I can really understand now how he was able to do all this stuff, because like I said, in one of the episodes of the DuckTales reboot, it was revealed that he was an actor, and that he was able to, do his own stunts. So, yeah, I can truly see how come he was able to do all these stunts now. But when he goes to kick Darkwing, he ends up falling down these stairs. And this is the interesting part, because those same crooks that he had tricked, he ends up in there with all of them, or at least in one of the cells with them, and they start beating him up. And Darkwing leaves a note for the cops telling them what had happened, and then they make a comment about his hat, or one of them makes a comment about his hat, which I don't think his hat looks dumb. But anyway, so yeah, Negaduck is defeated, and he's probably black and blue. I'm telling you, after all them crooks beat him up, they probably had to take him to the hospital. And then at the end of the episode, Launchpad and Gosalyn reward Darkwing with this figure of Gizmo Duck that's dressed up as him. And Darkwing, he didn't like that, but it's so cute because when they give him the gift and he is opening it, he looks so cute, and he reminds me of like a 6-year-old opening up their birthday gift or a Christmas gift. It is so cute. But he's not too happy when he finds out it's Gizmo Duck, so he's definitely got some jealousy and rivalry. Why can't I pronounce that? You get what I'm trying to say with Gizmo Duck. Oh man. But then Gosalyn runs up to him and hugs him, and that moment's really sweet. I think really any moment with Darkwing and Gosalyn is sweet. Especially like when she hugs him and he hugs her, and it's just so sweet. So yeah, that's the episode. Let's get respectable, and this is a good episode, and I just cannot get over how ridiculous Darkwing looked in that outfit. I mean, he looks so girly, and instead of using his smoke, which I forgot to mention this before, I don't think I mentioned this, but instead of using his smoke that he uses, Gosalyn gives him a basket of flower petals, and the basket she gives him looks so girly. It looks like an Easter basket, honestly. Oh my goodness. And I forgot to mention this one part I wanted to mention, where he was trying to stop this guy from taking this lady's purse, and he's like frolicking around, and he's honestly acting like what Snow White, the Disney princess Snow White, would probably act like if she was trying to be a hero. I mean, it was ridiculous. Now, he did tell the bad guy that was trying to take the lady's purse that he'd tell his mother, and that did work, but with the other crooks, Gosalyn and Honker and Launchpad had to be the ones to stop them, and it's funny how they were able to stop them, but Darkwing couldn't. He was getting creamed. Thank goodness he cut that out and was able to stop a real villain. And oh my goodness, I don't even want to think what Negaduck would have done to him if he had tried to act like that, with Negaduck. Like, if he tried to defeat Negaduck as that version of himself, oh my goodness, Negaduck would have creamed him. And he probably would have laughed at him too because of how ridiculous he looked. But it's funny, I do feel like they were trying to, share the truth or lesson or message, whatever you want to call it, about, being yourself and don't become what people necessarily want you to become. Be yourself and don't, try and please people, because that's what Darkwing was trying to do, is please people. But he does say that he didn't do this for the glory. And this is one reason why I think he truly loves being a hero and has a passion for protecting these people in general, even if he is full of himself. But I feel like that lesson or truth, again, whatever you want to call it, was just dropped. Like, they didn't really follow through with it. But yeah, even though the lesson wasn't really followed through and Darkwing looks ridiculous, this still was a good episode. I think it's pretty good, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode review. Bye!